everyone. Jennifer Jimbere, your partner in possibility here with Susan Kate, life and business coach for business owners. We want to thank you for taking a little bit of your time out today to spend some of it with us. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, thank you for having me. How are you?
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, so hi guys. Today, my name is Susan Kate, as she said, and I'm a business and lifestyle mentor, really. Today, I want to interview Jennifer on something that's extremely important in business. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about her. Jennifer is, she officially calls herself a professional and executive coach, change management, and positive psychology practitioner. However, I find Jennifer to be an enigma. She's very unique in what she brings to the table. And anybody who experiences her, they will experience something very different. I find her to be uniquely equipped and ready to help you unleash your strengths and maximize your performance in a manner that you don't often see these days. Okay, so we all know that business requires bold moves, and a lot of business failure that I see day to day has to do with people who aren't willing to make those kind of bold moves and who get stuck kind of on the fence, sitting on the fence with uncertainty and indecision. And Jennifer has a unique story regarding her, regarding bold moves that I just found so captivating. I asked her, could I please interview her? Because I wanted other people to kind of hear this story. So Jennifer, I'm going to hand it back to you. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of what you do in layman's terms, and just so that people understand? You have such a unique set of skills that I really kind of want to bring them all together in a nice, simplified manner for people.
Sure. I like to say, I like to create shiny eyes. So
yes,
what that means is I try and bring people back to, who am I and what are my strengths and how can I be using those in my everyday, in my personal life, in my professional life. And so the agenda is yours. So when we're talking together, I am agendaless. I am there to navigate and help you through that discussion and to help you move forward in whatever way would be positive for you.
And basically what you're saying is that it's so powerful that you like it when the power affects people and you can see the power as it brings tears to their eyes, correct? Yeah,
well, and I don't know if it's always tears. Most of the time it's just like, there's a difference. They're showing up, right? Mm-hmm. Where before life just kind of happens. And so what I like to do is turn that light up.
Oh, I love that. And I have never heard that before. I absolutely love that. Okay, so for everybody speaking, tell us kind of who you work with and a little bit more about what you do for them.
Sure. So as a professional coach, I might work with a small business owner. They might have 20 employees. Most of the time, what I'm doing is working with executive women who are looking to increase their presence, their leadership ability, as well as to have positive relationships. So as an executive woman, there's a lot of power, there's a lot of struggle, there's a lot of juggling going on with regards to how you show up in the workplace. And so they like to have, a confidant supporting them outside of the organization and making sure that they're making the right moves.
Somebody on neutral ground, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that's very important, especially in corporate. Right. Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about your story? Because I just love this story.
Sure. First, when you and I talked, you had some questions about moving into business for self, right? So
yes.
How was your belief in yourself when you started the business? What did that look like? And I told you it was rock solid. And you were like, well, wait a minute. What do you mean? And I said, well, I believed that I could do it and that there was no plan B, and that everything that brought me up to this point equipped me to, be doing the business full time, because I had been working in my role in corporate as well as on the side for 4.5 years, supporting different people, individuals, teams, and organizations. But to launch it in September, there was no doubt.
Oh, I love that. And I almost never hear that. I absolutely love that. So you took away my first question from me, so I'll move into my second. Coming back to this rock solid belief, what was it that kind of supported you in building this level of belief in your ability to not only be a business owner, but a business owner who goes forward so boldly?
I think I've always had this kind of belief that says that we are all creative, capable, wise, and good. And so somewhere along the way, that belief kept, filtering into my thought process and my mindset around, what can I do? Right. So I always had that kind of scratch out the I am in impossible, right? Because I think we're all capable of doing a lot more than we think we can. Another thing that I've learned along the way is like a 90-second scorecard. So I'll share with you, I watched a great speaker at a national conference that I went to who talked about how people can stay in the negative and stay in the problem for a really long time. And so what I've learned is a technique that switches to a scorecard within 90 seconds. So if a problem comes up, we try to picture a scorecard and write out the solutions and start, focusing more on that than, woe is me and the whirlwind that we're always in. And there's always been a positive outlook, right? My blood type is B positive. And I remember some old colleagues that I worked with saying, of course it is.
Right? Because you're known to be positive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of moves us into the next question that I had for you was about how is it that you keep a positive attitude during transitions? For a lot of people watching, they're making a ginormous decision. Either they're a corporate or executive woman who's making the transition right into the next step, or there may be a corporate woman who's trying to transition into a business. So transitions are just generally a tough time for people. How did you keep the positive attitude, and what would you tell somebody who's going through it right now to keep their positive attitude?
Trust your abilities. I mean, all of us have some really amazing strengths. And so go back to your memory bank and celebrate those accomplishments that you have. And, surround yourself with really great people that'll lift you up, right? If you're looking around your environment,
their belief, right?
Circle, and there aren't people who are believing in you, you need to create your new circle, right?
Absolutely.
So who do those look like? There's a great book by Carla Harris. It's called Expect to Win. It talks to you about the difference between mentors, coaches, and sponsors. If you don't have those three relationships, I invite you to read the book and then think about how can I foster those relationships and build the right community around me. It's about creating a tribe.
Yes. And we all know the tribe, especially in the coaching world. We know how important that tribe is. I get to tell you myself, I didn't make the ginormous quantum leap that I needed to make until I put my tribe into place. So that's absolutely, I'm 100% with you on that. Okay. So you work with a lot of women of influence, right? So what would you say are the top 3 things that you come across in working with these types of women?
Number one, they are powerful people. They have a voice. It's a loud voice. And sometimes there's a line between assertive and aggressive. And so checking in on that line from time to time is really important, because how is it that you're being perceived? How do you want to be perceived? And are you being purposeful in your actions, right? So are you being conscious of the steps that you're taking and being aware when that line is a little bit gray for you? So we work together on what that looks like, how it shows up, and prepare for opportunities when it may show up so that they are feeling like they're prepared for those scenarios. Second, they have a lot of strengths. So in order to get into that position of authority that they have, they've pulled on a ton of strengths. So what we want to be aware of is not to overuse those strengths. So I'll give you an example. As an extended disc facilitator, I work with a lot of people who are high D or high I. So what does that mean? They're influencers, they're dominant. So if a word direct comes into their vocabulary, and that's how somebody would describe them, if you wrote the word T-O-O, in front of direct, now direct isn't such a great strength, right? So we become aware of that, and we talk through what that looks like and how it shows up. And last, I think they're comfortable with visibility. They're comfortable with high responsibility projects. And so when they step into that place of authority, they get feedback from time to time that can sometimes set them back and might not be seen as much of a gift as it actually is, right? Because feedback, if you picture it like a little red box, okay, visually picture it as a little red box. And when somebody gives you that feedback, you can leave that box right there on the table. The gift is in opening that box and understanding it and interpreting what this feedback is so that the feedback can move you forward, because it can potentially move you to even greater success.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's somebody, I forgot, famous, who always says, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame.
Mm.
Right. So it's kind of like when you get that feedback is you're getting a different view of your own behaviors and your own communication that you really aren't going to be able to get from yourself.
That's right. And sometimes there's harsh feedback that comes when you're in a high visibility position. So having someone to talk through that feedback with can really help them interpret it and put a pause on it to make sure they don't react too harshly. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And remove the emotions if we can.
Mm.
Right? Wow. I love that. Okay. So I really want you to share your story of, I'm just such a big believer in bold moves in business. And you have such an unusual story that I just love and I tell everybody about. So for everybody listening, this is one of the boldest moves I've seen in business. So I just kind of want you to tell me the story of when you were transitioning from employee to entrepreneur, from corporate to your own coaching and consulting business. Mm-hmm. In order to make it happen, you had to make a ginormously bold move, right? Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So when you're leaving a corporate role that I had, there was a healthy salary attached to it. And so I needed to ensure that when I made this move, I wasn't pressured to get back to it that quickly. So my husband and I had a great discussion around, here's what I'm looking to create. Here's what I think we need to do. Here's what it would take, because as a financial services professional for 16 years, I did the math. I knew what it was going to look like. And we were in a great market. And so what we did was capitalize on that. We sold our house, we packed our stuff, we moved our family back to another community that we were in before, and we started over in a new house with no pressure around, what I needed to do. Now I was doing what I wanted to do. So there's a difference between those two things. So now when I move forward, there's no plan B. Right? We have moved our family to make this happen. My husband is amazing and a wonderful support system for me, and, realizes that's what I was going to do, and we were going to do it together, and it's going to work. My son has come to us before we moved and said, why are we doing this? I don't understand. And I said to him, one day you'll have some dreams that you'll look to chase, and I'll be right there behind you supporting you. So I need you to do that for Mom.
Oh, I love that. That kind of brings me back to one of my favorite quotes, which is, if you want to take the island, burn the boats.
Yeah.
You absolutely burned your boat. There was no retreat. There was no going back. You were doing it and you made it happen.
Yeah.
That kind of leads me into my last question, which is around the topic of support as you make these bold moves. Right. So you touched upon the fact that you had a phenomenal support system, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I think it's, building the right friends, the right mentors, reaching out, networking with the already large community that you have, sharing with them what it is you're doing, why you're doing it, how they can support you, and being really verbal and communicative with everybody about what your needs are and what it is you're expecting of them, from family members, right? All the way to, the larger network that you have, and investing in yourself. If you think that this is something that you can do, I need you to not think about it. You need to know that you can do it. So invest in a coach, invest in social marketing, invest in whatever training is required in order for you to best serve what it is you're looking to do. As you know, I'm a never-ending learner. So whether I've got a couple of books on the go or I'm taking another course, I don't think there's any better way to invest in yourself than, continually learning and seeking out partnerships with people who complement your own skill set.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So, so you obviously had a phenomenal support system in place in your husband, right? But some women are not going to have this. So, basically what you do is you come in and you are the support system, perhaps for somebody who does not have this kind of support at home. So if you don't have the spouse that's supporting you, or maybe the family, sometimes family and friends are the last ones to support us. So this is kind of where a coach or a mentor kind of steps in and becomes the very thing that you might be missing at home. So just kind of touch on what this would look like for somebody out there.
Yeah. So, when you have a coaching partnership, mentoring and coaching, two very different things. A mentor is someone that will show you what they did and they will give you that recipe and you will follow that. That's a mentor. A coach will talk to you about what are the goalposts. So what is the current reality and what is the goal we're looking to achieve? And then take you through the process to make sure that you're uncovering the possibilities, that you're creating the plan, that you're removing the roadblocks. Because for most people, there are roadblocks that'll show up. And the best thing you can do is to prepare yourself for those, right?
Absolutely.
And then to have you recap, because you own those steps. As a coach, it's not my agenda. I have my own plans. So
Right.
my role is to facilitate the discussion to make sure that you're in the right mindset, that you have the right tools in place, and that you have a really solid plan to get you to that end goal.
Absolutely. So let's bring this back. For anybody who's looking to transition from corporate to their own business, wants to sell their house to do it, Jennifer would be the girl to talk to. However, you don't have to make those kind of bold moves.
No.
She can still work with you on your goals, regardless if they don't take the same path that you necessarily took.
100%. Yep. My agenda is my own and yours is your own. And so for us, it was a fabulous move. We took advantage of a great market and are still in a beautiful community on a golf course. So it's a very nice move for us. And there's all kinds of possibilities. And that's why I call myself partner in possibility, because for everybody, those things look different. And so I'll partner with you to uncover what they are for you.
Absolutely. So for anybody listening, I just want to kind of wrap this up and end this, just letting you know that I've known Jennifer for a little while now. And there's probably not a day that goes by where she does not surprise me with something. She's always into something new. She's always creating something new. She's always coming up with something new. She's just uniquely qualified, and the experience that you'll have with her is just completely different. And I just want to encourage everybody who's watching this to reach out to her. And what would that look like? Do you have a site that they can book on?
Absolutely. They can go to Jimbere, so Jimbere,
Mm-hmm.
coaching and consulting.com. They can find me on Facebook, Jimbere Coaching and Consulting. You can find me on Twitter at Jennifer Jimbere, no space. They can email me at jennifer@jimberecoachingandconsulting.com, or they can call me. So all of my contact information is on the website, jimberecoachingandconsulting.com.
Okay. The main way that they get a hold of you, though, is they usually book a possibility session?
Yeah, so on that contact page on the website is your opportunity to book a Zoom call with me, and let's explore. We'll see what we can do to partner together.
And this is a complimentary session, about 30 to 60 minutes, depending on their situation?
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
15
wow,
minutes.
She's going to pack those 15 minutes. Everybody listening, go run, book one with her. Jennifer is just amazing. Every time I just get on the line with her, I love her even more. So we'll end with that. Is there anything else that you want to say?
No, thank you very much for the opportunity. I look forward to speaking with all of you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye.